Hey guys, Brian delivered you the goods here. Sorry for the long, lengthy delay for this next review. this next review. Sorry, my throat got congested for a second. I think most of the day I was just like in a little bit of a funk, but I'm doing okay now. But I wanted to return to you finally for this Bleed From Within Zenith album review that I got a chance to listen to for myself to see what I was going to think of their new record overall. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for the 11 tracks on this record and let you know my thoughts on Bleed From Within Zenith. So let's dive into this album review. Now, this is the long-awaited studio album we've been waiting for since, I believe it was December, because they were dropping songs, like singles. So Hands of Sin was the first single, then it was In Place of Your Halo, A Hope in Hell, and God Complex. So now we get the album. And starting it off is Violent Nature, which is a great track to open up the record. The screaming vocalist sounds very good, which you'll have to let me know in the comment section below what the screaming vocalist's name is, because I tend to forget, because I think I reviewed one of their records. Excuse me, yawning. I reviewed one of their albums, I think in 2022 or something like that. It was a little while ago, but I remember reviewing something of theirs. But from what I listened to, Violent Nature is a great opening track, and it's a 5 out of 5 for me. Then we get to In Place of Your Halo, the second single for this record's announcement. Great track for sure. I like the bagpipe bridge moment with the bagpipe instrumentation moment in the bridge of the song. Sounds really good, and it executed pretty well. And overall, the scream vocals from the screaming vocalist sound really strong, and I really dig this track for sure. It was a banger of a song, so 5 out of 5. And great second single for sure. I was really hyped to listen to this track, and I really enjoyed it for sure. Zenith, the title track, um, pretty strong track for sure. Really enjoyed how it overall sounded, and for 4 minutes and 18 seconds, you're in for quite a heavy track and some melodic moments from time to time, but it executes pretty well from what I listened to. So 5 out of 5 for this track. Then we get to God Complex, which was the fourth single, and I believe the last single before they came out with the record. Before the record came out. So I know it was released in like late February, but I didn't get around to reviewing it till like I think late February, if I remember correctly. But overall, God Complex was a strong track. I love the screaming vocals from the lead singer. The guitar work and drum work is the outstanding part of the track. And just execution-wise, this track was a banger. So another 5 out of 5. A Hope in Hell is a strong track too, in its own way. It starts off melodic for most of it, but it picks up and it progresses a lot more into a more heavier sound later on in the track. And that's what I appreciated about this track, that it wasn't afraid to be melodic at times, but also not afraid to have its heavy roots in this track. So pretty much a 5 out of 5 for sure. Dying Sun was a strong track too for 5 minutes and 28 seconds. I really enjoyed how it executed overall. Um, for 5.5 minutes, you're in for a banger of a track, and it didn't disappoint for sure. And the screaming vocals from the lead singer sounded really good. and drumming and guitar work was pretty strong. 5 out of 5. Immortal Desire featuring Brand Daler. Pretty good song in some way. I don't know, Brand Daler's part in this track was alright, but I had a few critiques with this track, with how he was singing it. So I don't know if this was my favorite track, and excuse my yawning, I'm gonna be going to bed pretty soon. I want to get to the Thornhill album review for Bodies, but you know what I'm gonna think of that record. I didn't really like the majority of the singles. So, pretty much, Immortal Desire is a 4.75 out of 5. And honestly, not a terrible track for the instrumentation. Just, it's the feature artist that I don't know if I can get on board with his vocals. But it sounds alright. It just has its hit or miss moments. 4.75 out of 5. Chain to Hate is a strong track for sure. Really enjoyed this one. It's got great screaming potential from the lead singer, and overall, the guitar work and drum work sounds very strong. So this is another 5 out of 5. Known by No Name is a strong track. It does have a chanty chorus and a choir-driven chorus that I don't know if I can get on board with, but overall, it does pretty well for the most part. So 5 out of 5 for this one too. Hands of Sin featuring Silosis. I think this is the newer version of Hands of Sin, which has Silosis in this track. I don't know if the original track did have Silosis or not, but from what I gathered, I think Josh Middleton did pretty good with his screaming vocals. I believe is his name, Josh Middleton, the previous guitarist from Architects. And then he left in 2023, so Architects is a 4-piece band now. So pretty much from what I gathered, Hands of Sin was a strong track. I really enjoyed this one. Definitely executed very well, and it rocks for sure. Edge of Infinity is the best closing track to end this record, for sure. And it relies on the chorus quite a bit, but in a good way it does, because it makes it a very strong track, for sure. So I was really into this track, and definitely was a great closing track off this record. So 5 out of 5 for Edge of Infinity. The outro to it's pretty interesting, where it, I guess, does a little bit of a rewind on, like a recap of songs that's already played through this record. So it's pretty interesting. But overall, strong track, 5 out of 5. Overall production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Bleed From Within Zenith is a very strong record. One of my favorite records of this Friday. And it's probably going to be better than the Thornhill album. I'll tell you that much. And that's a shame, because Thornhill is just not the band for me. And you're going to be seeing the review anyway, but don't expect anything good to come out of it. Expect disappointment from me. So, pretty much, from what I listened to with Bleed From Within Zenith, strong record. I definitely recommend this to anyone that wants to get into like hard metalcore kind of stuff, like heavy metalcore kind of stuff. And it does offer that. Offer a lot of heavy metalcore. It's very metalcore driven, and I definitely can come back to this record quite a lot. So if I were to give Bleed From Within Zenith its overall deserved score, I'm feeling a strong 9.5 out of 10. Definitely was an amazing record. I think it's one of the highlights of this Friday's releases for April 4th, and it was a very enjoyable record. I can tell you that much. So 9.5 out of 10 for Bleed From Within Zenith. I hope you enjoyed this album review tonight, and thank you guys for watching.